What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are all having a great day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, I wanted to show you how you can turn your peaches from your peach tree into something that you can enjoy all winter long. That's right, today we're talking all about the glorious peach. One of my favorite fruits, grows very well here in the South. I have a peach tree behind me, as you can see. I have a whole bunch of peaches. This is probably the most I've ever gotten off of this one tree, so it has definitely been a banner year for this. So I wanted to try to do a video to think about other ways to use it besides just freezing them like a lot of people do. So yeah, you can do things like freezing and dehydrating, but I want to do something a little bit more challenging, okay? I've made jams before, I've made jellies before, but I've never made a peach butter. I've made apple butter, I've made pear butter, but I've never made a peach butter. So that's what we're going to do today. I want to go ahead and harvest all these, and then we're going to head into the kitchen. Okay, this is my one peach tree. I planted two, the other one did not make it, but this one is doing just fine. It is an Alberta peach, and I planted it about 3.5 years ago. So this is my third harvest. The first one was maybe 4 peaches. The second one last year was maybe a dozen, and this year I have gotten several dozen. This is only half of the peaches that I've harvested from this tree. I've eaten some fresh, and I still got some on the tree, so I'm super excited about it. As you can see, I got a couple little dots on the skin here. It's not a big of a deal. It only hits the skin. It doesn't go deeper than that. And right here in this bowl, I got about 6.5 pounds worth. Alright, so let's get into making our peach butter. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to determine if you want to leave the skin on or if you want to take it off. Personally, for me, I like to leave the skin on because if you look at them, there's really not that big of a deal if you grow organically. You see all the nice little skin right there? All the vitamins and minerals are hiding in the skin. So if you don't have to cut it off, then don't do it, in my personal opinion. But if you happen to, buy these like commercially from a commercial grower, then they probably sprayed the crap out of these with pesticides. So I would probably want to peel the skin. But since I don't spray my peaches, these are completely 100% organic, never sprayed. That's why I feel confident in never doing that. So if you got to do it, then by all means go ahead and do it. But for me personally, I just cut off the bad stuff right here, the insect damage, whatever, and I kind of go on my merry way. As you see this little bottom piece right here where the bloom attaches when it first starts, yeah, that's a little sharp piece. It's kind of annoying, so I cut that off too. So basically, whenever I'm processing, I just cut around the pit and then spin it off so it comes off like in one half pretty easy. Do the same thing with the other half. I basically cut around the pit so I can twirl it off. The biggest problem with this I've realized is the less ripe the peach, the more difficult they are to take off, the harder they are. So if it's more ripe, then it's going to come off a little bit easier. But since this wasn't super ripe, it didn't come off easy. But there's also certain varieties that come off easier than others, so that's whatever. But as you can see here, all the peaches together got about 4 pounds, exactly what I wanted. That way we can go ahead and start to process. Now, in order to do that, you're going to need a blender, food mill, whatever. I use a blender because it goes into a puree mode. That way I just stick them all in there and go ahead and put them into a puree. Okay, so after you get it to a nice puree, remember it's puree, not liquefy, okay? We're not trying to go like hardcore to a juice stage here. We're just trying to go to a puree. It's going to look something like this. You're going to want to keep doing it, obviously, until you're completely done, and you definitely want to make sure you scrape every little bit out of that blender as you can because you worked hard to get to that point. So don't forget to do that. Then to this mixture, I like to usually add some lemon juice to acidify what I'm working with. It also helps protect the color, in my personal opinion, but peaches are pretty acidic anyway, so it's all up to you if you want to do it or not. And for me, I taste it to see how much sugar I need. For this batch, I ended up using 3 cups. So 3 cups per 4 pounds, not too bad. And then you're going to turn the stove on low to medium heat. Any higher than that, you're going to risk scorching the bottom. So you want to do a low medium heat, and whenever you do it, you definitely want to make sure you have a lid. Okay, keep the spoon in there or keep the lid kind of cracked because the whole purpose here is trying to boil off some of that water, some of that steam, so we can try to thicken this up. So don't go hardcore and close the lid because you're not going to get that stuff out. Now, knowing when you're done can get kind of tricky. Now, when I'm doing apple and pear butter, I'm able to tell by the stir, because whenever you stir it, you can see that water layer on top and the thicker at the bottom. As you can see here with the spoon, I scooped from the bottom, and I was able to get a nice heaping spoonful on top of that spoon so it held its shape. That's kind of what you want. You want it to hold its shape indefinitely, almost like an applesauce, but thicker. So as you see here, when I put it onto the plate, it's slowly starting to want to separate. You see the liquid layer and the actual puree layer. So it's not done yet because it's still doing that. Whenever it's done, it gets too thick to be able to do that. So as you can see, it's still need to cook down a little bit more. After about another hour or so, you see when you stir it, it slowly wants to bubble. Okay, it doesn't really want to boil anymore. Now whenever it bubbles, it's basically giving you lava bombs. Okay, it's shooting and splattering all over the place instead of actually boiling. That's how you know you're done. via the splatter. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you're going to dirty up your kitchen, so make sure you have that lid handy. Alright, as you can see, I am mounting on the spoon exactly the way I like, so we are going to go ahead and start canning these bad boys. Now, for me, these are all the jars that I had left. That's why I had a whole bunch of random sizes, because I've been canning everything this summer, so this is basically all I got left in the drawer without having to open a new pack. Fill it up with a 1/4 inch headspace, wipe the rims with a vinegar-soaked rag, that way you get a good seal, put your lids on like you always do, and then go ahead and put down your rings finger tight, because again, you don't want to crank down, you want to make sure the air can escape and create that vacuum. Then you're going to put them into a rolling boil water bath canner for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes with a boil like this, you should have enough vacuum created to be able to create a seal. You go ahead and pull them out, wait for the ping, and you should be done. Alrighty, here it is. And here's the leftover that I did not can because I wanted to use this. As you can see, yeah, the glass is fogged up because it's, 70 degrees in my house and 88 degrees and super humid here. But yeah, as you can see, it's not runny. It's solidified pretty well as it cools down, so it's definitely a type of butter. But I'm going to go ahead and give this one a shot. See how it tastes, not just off a spoon. So if you don't like seeing me eat, turn your head. That was good. This would be even better on biscuits. I'll be honest, how was that? It looked pretty good, right? It tasted fantastic. It's definitely one of those things that I've wanted to do for a while now, and I had enough peaches to be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Something I didn't really want to use with bought peaches. I wanted to use with my own peaches. So if I were to change anything from this video, I would definitely change the amount of sugar I used. I'd probably dial it back just a little bit, 3 cups. The recipe I actually followed from the ball books at 4 cups per 4 pounds, which would be whoa. But 3 cups was enough. It's, a little bit too sweet for me because my peaches were already sweet enough. I used a lot that were pretty ripe already, so I'm definitely not missing much sweetness here. But the plus side of that is they're going to last a lot longer in storage because the more sugar you use, the longer it will ultimately store, because sugar is a preservative, as a lot of y'all know. But I hope y'all learned something from this video. I just wanted to show you that there's other ways that you can preserve things without just having to do the regular old freezing, dehydrating, or even jams, jellies. You could do other things like conserves, preserves, and ultimately, like I did, butter, and if you just take a little bit more time to it. So if you take a little bit more time on the front end, you can, like you would anything else, it's going to be ready for you all winter long. So hopefully y'all learned something from this video. If you did, please do me a humongous favor and give this one a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you were not, and I'll catch y'all later, okay?